Hi, everybody.
Okay, Lord, we had some technical difficulties, some teleready problems, but hopefully we're gonna get it together. So for everybody that's been waiting, thank you guys for joining us. We're so excited to be here. Welcome to the Royalty podcast. I'm Cambry.
I'm
Y'all want
Queen Q, Crystal. Hello, everybody.
Tasha's here.
I'm Tara.
and we have probably Shara backstage. She's gonna join us in a second. And so if you're new to it, thank you guys for joining us. If not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified of anytime we launch our podcast. Um, Corona has derailed us all, but we just want to have a little fun with y'all today. Get in. So now that we're live, we'll wait on a few more people to see if they're in. Um,
There we
I
go.
have my happy hour.
Hey,
Hey,
y'all.
I got a little
Sarah.
strawberry lemonade punch.
We're
I have
live,
my
Shara.
happy hour.
Okay. Hey, guys.
This is a Louisiana made wine. It's beautiful. It tastes great. It's really good.
What kind is that? What flavor? Like, what's the
This
brand?
is the Blackberry Merlot. You know it's a red. Blackberry Merlot by Landry's Vineyard. It's really good.
I'm
Really
drinking red
smooth.
too. I'm drinking a sweet red.
Sweet red.
Yeah.
I have strawberry lemonade with a smidge of rum.
With a smidge. Smidge of rum.
It's Sunday. I can't really be all like that on a Sunday. Have,
Right.
have y'all been finding yourself drink? I haven't really been drinking for quarantine. Have y'all been drinking?
Unfortunately, I've been working. Fortunately, I've been working. So I haven't had a drink. This is the first one I've had.
Okay.
I've been drinking a little bit on my off days. I'm trying out a new rosé right now.
Okay.
That's what you got.
Grapefruit juice on ice, but I have been drinking wine here and there. I
Okay.
like Pinot Grigio, so I kind of hop from brand to brand trying the Grigios.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Let me see. I was trying to see if they were notified that we were actually live.
I got a notification.
I got a notification.
Okay.
So we're live, ladies. This is a little different, but thanks to COVID, we're social distancing while still being together.
Yes.
I want to, even though this is completely not anything to do with royalty, the brand, but I want to say congratulations to the Kings that signed in this past NFL that were drafted. Congratulations to you guys.
You have a cousin
Yeah.
that was after, right?
I do. I have a little cousin that signed with the Jaguars. So very proud of him.
Awesome.
He graduated from Georgia, and I know he's going to do some big things in the NFL. He comes from a very wonderful line of athletes, so it's in his genes, and
Okay.
I'm really excited for him. I love Florida. I cannot wait to come down to Florida. Go see
Um,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
I don't necessarily like Florida, but
Oh, I love Florida. Miami, we love Miami.
Florida
That's not where Jacksonville is. But it's
kind of right
expensive.
along the range of Georgia right now for me. You know, um,
Say that
okay.
again.
I say Florida right along the range of Georgia. So everybody that's if you got a chance to log in, the people that are watching, go ahead and shout us out so we know that you're there. Um, when I went on the thing, it seems like people are watching. I can't
Hey,
really see.
y'all.
This is totally new for us, so we still, like I
Yes.
said, I definitely can feel Teddy Riley team right now because that's how I feel.
Okay, Riley.
This is all. I'm not a tech person. This is not my forte, but we gonna make it work. Okay, so where is Shara? Okay. Well, we'll get right on
I'm
started.
here.
Oh,
I'm here. I had to give me an extra shot. One of them better.
cool, cool, cool. So we'll go ahead and kind of jump into it. I mean, we so for those that don't know, we have several pages, we have several things going on. Like I said, coronavirus, quarantine, like has kind of, put a pause on a lot of things. We're not gonna say it stopped anything, it didn't cancel anything. We just having to rework and maneuver,
Maneuver.
readjust.
Right.
So I know normal. So some things are delayed, some things are just on pause, but we're gonna try to make it do what it do. But we have the RoyalTea podcast, which you are tuning into now, and it is a subsidiary of our RoyalTea, which is our brand. And under that brand, we have Affirmations of a King, Affirmations of a Queen. So the IG pages, we typically post daily affirmations every day. So if you're not familiar with those, you can go check them out. Just a little pep me up. We want to breathe life into people, encouragement. As we all know, this world is really, really tough right now, especially. Um, but the Facebook groups, they actually get a little popping in there sometimes. I really enjoy interacting with a lot of the kings and a lot of the queens. And so we specifically invited you all to join us today so that you guys can interact with each other because I know sometimes a lot of the kings, they'll post things for the queens. And so we'll have to take it out of the kings group and post it again in the queens group. And sometimes I know the queens, they send us questions that they want a male perspective on. And so we'll give it to the kings and let them kind of chime in. So that's the purpose of today. We kind of want to merge the groups, let you guys all interact with one another, let you guys hear what y'all have to say firsthand. So, look, he said, she said type of situation. Um, let's
The
see.
queens, they
Miss
talk about you
Melvina
guys.
says, hey, ladies. Hey, Miss Melvina.
Hey, Novena. Hey,
Hey.
girl. Hey, sis.
Okay. So, one of the first things we asked, and I know it kind of came across on both groups, was, do you feel supported with your goals, with your dreams? And I'm gonna let y'all chime in and tell us what the queen said to those questions. What was kind of the responses we got on do they feel supported by the kings?
The queens felt supported somewhat. I think the general consensus was, yeah, if it kind of went along with the goals of the men, whatever his goal was too. Um, but I think overall they felt more supported than less. Anybody else?
Okay.
I got the same thing. The queens were they felt supported by the kings and that they was helping them to meet their goals and whatnot. They also said it was a major necessity that they did support their dreams, even if it wasn't necessarily a thing, but just being there or believing in them was a big part of their outcome.
Okay. So I guess my thing is, so we asked the same question to the kings, and we got completely different results.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly. So overwhelmingly, the majority of the kings, and I think we kind of had this question twice. We had it in general of do you feel supported, with your goals and dreams, and then we asked them another time, well, do you specifically feel that Black women support or supportive
Hmm.
of Black men? And both times, overwhelmingly, the response was no.
Mhm.
Queens, what are we
And
doing?
they did not feel supported. And so to me, that's a little discussion because it's like, what's the caveat there? Hey,
Hi,
And
Elon.
that was also my thing was the $1 million question is, man, what do you consider support? you know.
Right.
Right. Right.
So
So
cheering you on, staying up with you, you know, telling you something encouraging. Do you feel that as support, or you know, you need more, or what exactly is your definition? Because it's something missing link if the ladies tend to think that they are supporting.
so did we get any responses on what their definition of support was? Or why it was such a big glaring difference between why the women feel supported but the men don't?
Well, in summation, a lot of just overall felt unsupported. I heard a lot of nagging. You don't believe in my dreams. Some kind of wanted to them to echo kind of like the spirit that we have on the King's page. Keep your head up. We got you. You know, and
Patty
whatnot.
cake. They want to be patty cakes.
Right. Salute.
Attaboys. That kind of thing.
So what do you mean when you say they want to be patty cakes?
They want to be patty cakes. Woo, woo, woo. You did good, baby. I'm so proud of you. I mean, all of that's good and great. And I think we, as queens should, lift men up and encourage them, especially, if they've been, they feeling downtrodden or beat down or disrespected or whatever the case may be as their women or just, part of their team, even if we aren't necessarily dating them, but just friends with them or whatever. But I feel that oftentimes men um, really need validation and attaboys more than us as ladies. Um, and if they don't get that from us, that's when they start feeling less supported.
Okay.
Now, see,
Hello,
that's the kicker
Rhonda.
because what I found is, and I know I saw on one of the other posts that was unrelated to feeling supported, but I know especially we have we have a few male moderators, but and this was a pretty lengthy discussion with guys on do they need words of affirmation? Do they want their significant other to basically tell them good job? Do they expect, it was overwhelmingly, the response was as men, they feel like, okay, I'm supposed to go out, I'm supposed to work, I'm supposed to provide for my family, I'm supposed to, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to emotional support and encouragement or appreciation, that was the word, they don't feel, but it's like
Mm,
they don't expect it. And I guess because
ladies,
of
are
their
y'all
lack of
beating these men up?
expectation, they don't want to. They don't need it.
They
They
don't
feel
need
very. I think the analogy was the lone wolf.
was a what?
The lone wolf that one of them gave,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and it was overwhelmingly. I thought it was very interesting because see, I think it goes back into what is your definition of support, and so when you talk about women, typically when we want to be supported or when we feel supported, that's someone that's encouraging us with words. Maybe your husband or significant other is financially supporting you and enabling you, you know what I'm saying, providing for you an opportunity. So maybe you don't have to work while you're in school, or maybe you can just focus on your business and you can quit your job and he's going to hold you down and hold the bills. But when it comes to men, I think that women are less likely to say, "Oh, well, baby, yeah, you can quit your job and I'm gonna pay all the bills, and you can pursue your rap career, you can pursue writing a book, or you can pursue doing this." And so sometimes they feel like as if their dreams are put on the back burner, or they're, you know what I'm saying, in lieu of providing and protecting and being a man. And that's all without a thank you. Because we see it every year. Mother's Day rolls around, and there's flowers, there's candy, there's all this other stuff, and then
Beautiful
Father's
gifts,
Day rolls
Pandora.
around. Right, Father's Day roll around, and they call them dumb dad gifts, or it's Single Mother's Day, where
Right.
So, what y'all think about that?
I think that you just have to know what you're getting. Crystal had mentioned that they want to be patty cake. You got to know how needy is the person that you're with. Do they need a thank you? Do they need a pat on the back? Do they need financial support? And it all just depends on what they expect.
Yeah, I agree with Tasha on that. It's about, like you said, learning your mate, kind of seeing, what they need, to make them feel appreciated or wanted. And love languages is something, that'll help, learn your mate, whether it's male or female.
Right.
A
When you
lot
know
of times
what,
we're
what
used
you,
to
what were you saying, Tasha? I'm sorry.
sometimes we're used to being around, strong women, and a lot of times women don't need to thank you. They don't need you to encourage them because we self motivate on a lot of occasions in a lot of instances, and at the same time, that other person might not be able to function the same way.
So, do you feel like self motivated people don't need thank yous or appreciation?
I'm gonna say some. I'm gonna say some people.
I think all people need it, but like you said, how she said some, it just depends. Everyone doesn't need the same amount. Like you said, some people like to be more babied or more nurtured versus other people don't like that. So just like she said, some, it just kind of depends. Do y'all agree?
You got to know what you got. You got to know what you got.
I think that, ooh, my grass is getting cut.
Mhm.
So sorry if it's a lot of background noise. I think that it's always interesting to see perspective. Adrian says everyone needs and wants to be appreciated, and I feel the same way.
Yeah, he's one of the kings.
I'll drink to that, Adrian.
He's one of the
I
kings.
think that,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I was getting ready to say. I'm a self motivated person. Your appreciation or your validation, well, I don't need validation, but your appreciation, your acknowledgement won't make or break me. But everybody needs to feel, appreciated, valued, that sort of thing. And I
I
think
think
overwhelmingly, men are taught.
Yeah. Rhonda says everyone needs a thank you. I agree with her on
Right.
that.
I
Yeah.
agree
my
with that.
my my saying is even a cactus need a little water every now and then. So
Yep.
even because I'm kind of self motivated and going and stuff, but every now and then you got to be like, okay, you're doing it. So it's needed.
Right.
But to what Tara was saying, the love languages is also very key to it. Hopefully everyone has found out what their love language is. If not, I can post it again on the site so
Yeah,
everybody can
it's a
find. It's
simple little
very important
quiz.
that you know and your mate know to kind of see um, and help with communication.
And the thing is with love languages, a lot of times, we're trying to find someone we're equally yoked with, but really and truly, it's just understanding your mate, understanding. But the love languages doesn't even just apply to relationships. It can apply, I mean, relationships as far as, your partner in life. It can apply to your children. It can apply to your parents. My mom, her love language is acts of service. You could buy her anything in the world and it will remain in the box. However, if you take the dishes out of the dishwasher, she's so appreciative. So acts of service means the world to some people, whereas, gifts might mean something else, or, you know, um, encouragement, words of affirmation, understanding understanding the person that you're dealing with um, helps a lot
I'm
to,
sorry.
just make things easy, the road easy.
Right. Well, that kind of goes into another great post that one of the men asked yesterday, or one day this week. The days are rolling together. But he posted a clip of Tory Lane's interview. I don't know if everybody got a chance to check out his interview.
Ooh, yeah, that was pretty hot.
Right. Strong language aside, I did not agree with the language that he chose to use, but that's his prerogative, not mine. But strong language aside, the gist of his post or gist of his message was women should not expect men to buy them something or to give them gifts that they cannot afford to buy for themselves.
Mhm.
Oh, Elon says my love language is acts of service. My husband's is touch. It's frustrating sometimes because I don't like to be touched as much. That's so true. I'm one of those people. Physical touch. I like physical touch, but I don't really like touchy feely people. Everybody knows that about me. I don't really like to be touched. I'm like a cat. I want to be touched when I want to be touched, and that's pretty much a wrap. So it gets annoying. So I definitely we touched on that on the podcast, the first podcast, a little bit on giving love language in or loving your partner in their love language and wanting them to love you in yours. You know what I'm saying? Because you won't often receive the love if it's not in your love language. You know,
Right.
Right.
their their love tank is full and yours is empty. So it's always that interesting perspective on trying to meet each other's needs emotionally and with those love languages. But what I was saying was, Tory Lanez was basically saying that men or women shouldn't ask men to buy them things that they can't afford themselves. And he felt as if a woman asked him to buy her a Gucci bag, he would be like, "Oh, well, you can't buy that for yourself. And if you can't buy it for yourself, you in the wrong tax bracket to be messing with a man like me." So basically, it's called tricking in this day and age.
I disagree with
Basically,
that.
okay.
Oh, go
So
So
ahead,
why do you
Kim.
tell me
disagree?
your perspective, Tara.
I disagree because just like me, I'm a nurturer, I'm a giver, so I may cook and clean and show my love in those type of ways, but I don't expect you to be cooking and cleaning for me. So, and some people give through if they have the means to give you, afford you a nice life, they'll give you that. So I kind of disagree with that. Just because he makes more money and he treats me with gifts, I should be able to afford it. I disagree with that. Now I can afford it on my own, but I don't think I don't think that should be the rule for
I
it.
think his message was more or less the expectations of women
Yeah,
who expect men to buy them things. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
if you have I guess he's speaking to the gold diggers or the women
Uh-huh.
who feel as if, oh, I'm gonna date up or I'm gonna get
Right.
someone with influence and money and I'm
Mhm.
gonna take advantage of that.
Right.
And Rhonda, tell me why you disagree.
Yeah.
And that's what this is for. Y'all type your comments out, man,
Yeah.
women,
Thank you, Rhonda. High five.
yeah.
We
Tell me
both
why you
disagree.
disagree.
We have
Um,
another comment as well.
it says, right, why wouldn't you want to give someone you love something they can't get for themselves? I agree, April. I agree. I
But
think that there's
that's
nothing
actually
wrong
not
with,
what he was talking about in the
but I was
video.
getting ready to say,
Uh-huh.
there is nothing wrong with gifts. And I don't think, and that was the point that I made. So my perspective is this: I don't think that there should ever be an expectation for you to buy someone
Mhm.
something for sexual favors, because that's what tricking is.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sleep with you or I'm not going to, date you and expect you to buy me things as a result of high class prostitution, tricking, whatever y'all want to call it. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's good.
Right.
It's exchanges of goods and services.
And I agree
Um,
with Adrian. Adrian says he was speaking to a certain
He
type of
does.
women.
And
So
that's what I
that,
was
that
getting ready to say. He did make that point. He did make
Mhm.
that point. He said he was not talking to all women. He was talking to a specific type of woman who basically feels as if, okay, well, I'm dating you and you got it. So, I'm doing this, so you should buy me a Gucci bag.
Right.
And or whatever the case may be. And so what he was saying was you shouldn't expect somebody to buy you something if you can't afford it. And so my perspective is this. No, I don't think that you should. I don't think somebody should buy you something and expect you to because you bought me something. Because you have men that feel that way. If they fly you out, they expect you to sleep with them. If they buy you a bag, they expect you to sleep with them. And in the same token, you know what I'm saying? You have women that have the same expectations. But I think in the reality or in the realm of a relationship, gifts are to me. I like
Gifts are
gifts.
expected
Gifts are
in
expected
the
in a
forms of a
relationship. Yeah,
relationship.
I like gifts, but they're also reciprocated. So, just like Tara was saying, if I'm cooking and I'm giving you your love and your love language and physical touch or whatever that might be, if my love language is gifts, why wouldn't you
Show
want
up.
to give somebody
Right. Bless up,
something?
brother.
Right. So, Rhonda say it ain't tricking if you got it. Okay, so
That was
So
a cool
if
song.
if
But
it's not tricking, is it prostitute? I just want to know, how does that really work? I'm confused.
No, what I think Lil Wayne meant by that is it's not tricking if you got is he makes so much money, so it's like he not in the hole to buy his woman, like you said, a Gucci bag or so. But
right.
Okay.
now let's say someone else is, if he going broke doing it for her, then that's considered tricking. I guess it's all about tax brackets. Rhonda Rhonda has another comment as well. Rhonda says
Well, that's
every
what
man
she
gonna pay
said.
directly or indirectly. I agree with that. Do y'all
Well, there's an old saying.
tell it, Rhonda? Tell it.
Even
I
in
want to hear from
marriage.
some of the kings.
Yep,
We got some kings on here.
especially in
Y'all give us
marriage.
y'all perspective. Do you think that it's tricking to buy your woman?
But Tory
Now,
Rhonda
Lanez
says
wasn't speaking on your woman. Tory Lanez was speaking on,
I know, but what I'm saying is,
somebody you just met.
so is it the only difference if you're in a relationship with this person, or if it's just casual? Is that the difference between tricking
Listen, if I
and
just met you,
buying gifts?
and we're out for a date, a dinner, or whatever, my expectation as a woman is that you're buying dinner. That's my expectation. However,
well.
if we speak and we get some
I can
type
hear you.
of difference and misunderstanding, some type of
Uh-huh.
understanding that will be, going Dutch, as the old people would say, then, I'll be buying mine, you be buying yours. But, if I'm coming out to see you, yeah, you taking care of gas, you take care of the airlines. Um, it's not tricking, it's just what it is, to me. Um, as it pertains to Tory Lanez, he feel like if he blessing a woman with his services, she got blessed, and there you go. So, it was an even trade off. Uh, in that particular type of woman that he was speaking of that has these expectations. You know, I'm a little too old to be in the rap world, so
And
Well,
and
you
then
know what?
in the groupie in the groupie world, but that's who I think he was speaking to more than anything was to the groupies of the world who expect to say because I spent the night with Tory Lanez, then he bought me a bag.
Right. And Melvina
Right.
said that's
And
right.
they ain't exactly courting, so
yeah.
Right.
Oh
But
my.
but what's interesting is, so I have expectations. You can't love without giving. Yes, TT, you
Yes,
can't love
yes.
without giving.
Tell him, Mama. Tell
That's
him. Come
wisdom
through.
right there.
We got to retweet that. Tory
That's
Lane.
a good one.
Rhonda says Tory Lanez is whining, and then we got to keep in mind of Tory Lanez's age as well. I think he's under 30, so he got a
Yeah, he's a young man.
long learning. But a lot of men feel like that even over the age of 30, I think too.
But you know what's funny? So we asked the question. One of the queens asked the question, and it said, "Would you prefer a man who was established and already had something, or would you prefer to get a man and grow with him?"
My
Both.
lord.
And
Mhm.
overwhelmingly, the queens responded that they would rather get a man and grow with them and build together versus getting someone who was already established. So I'm always interested to see these different perspectives of how most men are looking at women as if you have your hand out and you want something, while most women are more open or prefer to date men that they can build with and come up with together. So where is that disconnect?
And they friends,
Um,
they listen to their friends.
yeah, yeah.
They listen to their
Uh,
friends and not listening to their woman.
right.
it
I'm
can
okay
be
with
taken
both.
more than one way though. You can
Yeah.
grow in life, grow your family, get a house, whatever, but growing emotionally, spiritually, that's something different. That's something that you can do on your own. So when you get with another person, you're a whole person.
Okay.
I think
I
a
like
person
it.
should Yeah, I think a person should like continue to grow themselves to better themselves. And as they're bettering themselves, it'll help to improve the relationship. But I also feel that someone at a certain point, at a certain age group, they should be at a certain point in life. And I think that for me, it goes back to like being equally yoked and all that. But I'm willing to work with someone who's working with themselves. We in my field of work, they say we always say never outwork the client. meaning, if he's not putting his foot forward, you shouldn't be, doing more work than him. So that's my thoughts on it. We have a male comment. Let's say,
Come on
this
through,
is so
Kim.
cool, ladies. Great way to keep you all show going. Great subject.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Kevin.
Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that.
Appreciate that. So, Kevin, do you have an opinion on buying gifts? And when is it appropriate to buy expensive gifts?
That's a good question. When is it
Well, yeah.
appropriate to
While
buy
he's
Tara.
responding, I would say, as far as buying gifts, I'm a natural giver, so I give. I don't give for tit for tat. Like, well, he bought me this, I got to buy that. If I feel it on my heart to give, then I'll give, and it's no price range. I'm not gonna be silly with it, I guess to say. But as far, if I feel like getting something for someone, and my heart tells me to do it, I'm gonna do it.
Tara. Tara.
Yeah.
Let Cheryl.
I don't see her.
Okay.
It says device not connected.
Okay.
Let me try to.
Yeah, I'm a giver as well. Not no Gucci Louis type of giver, but um,
Hello.
You're in now.
We can hear you.
Not a Gucci Louis type of giver right out the gate, but you know, when
Did
you
y'all see Sylvia Percy's comment?
The takers get into it.
Yeah, we spoke on that. We do have another comment that came in. Rhonda says men need to date in their pay grade. Hey, I'm okay with that. How do y'all feel about that? Crystal got claps on that.
Well, that was my comment to the
that was
post.
Tasha clapping,
Actually,
but I agree.
my comment to the post
Uh-uh.
was, I think that it's cool if that's how you feel, as long as you can keep that same energy. So, if everybody gonna be in their tax bracket, let everybody be in their tax bracket. But a lot of times, a male's ego can't handle that returned energy, so to speak.
If a sister making a little more than him, he
Right.
might feel a certain kind of way.
He might feel a certain type of way, and that's my thing.
There's no
Is
timeline for giving. Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian said there's no
okay,
timeline.
cool.
Rhonda has another comment. She says men try to date multiple women's um, without
Without
adequate income.
income.
Yeah,
Without adequate.
yeah.
So that's why they can't keep on running. That's why they can't buy
Preach,
bags.
Rhonda, preach. Preach.
That's why Tory Lanez don't want to buy bags because he don't have adequate income.
Adequate income. 'Cause he got too many irons in the fire.
He got too many eyes in the fire.
Some people are givers, some people are takers, and sometimes if you're doing more giving and taking, then you start to feel like, well, maybe I might need to pull back a little bit.
True. And
Right.
here's the thing. I think giving is more than just financial. Like at the end of the day, Tara made this comment. You can have women can be keeping the house, taking care of the children, still going to work, still swinging around a pole or a ceiling fan at nighttime, and doing all of that. But if it's not reciprocated and appreciated, and it's taken for granted, it doesn't matter how many. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might pay the bills, or you might, pay the car notes and things like that, but it's still going to be unbalanced because it's not appreciated and you're not giving in the same, you know what I'm saying? Because for
In
some
the
men,
same vein.
money is easier to give. That's the easy thing. They don't mind giving. They'll break you off money, but if you ask them for their time, that's a little bit more difficult because now they have to sacrifice.
And they may
And
not
that's
be
why,
emotionally available.
what Sylvia said was so important. Love, you can't love without giving.
Yep.
So, and my thing is, and that giving requires a sacrifice. And so, money might not be your thing. You can buy a Louis Vuitton bag or a Gucci bag or a Prada bag, no problem. But that same man who's working 80 plus hours a week, if she say, "Well, I want a weekend away," well, no, you
Now he
can't
don't
buy
have
her
time.
Louis Vuitton bags to make her feel, you know what I'm saying, loved and appreciated. So why do you think? Okay, so with that same token, we talked a little bit about women wanting to be. I think the responses from the women, which were interesting, wanting to have someone they can build with, versus someone who was already established. do we and I a couple of the comments was like, I think that it's appreciated more when you build with um some of the women of course felt like, no, I need him to come to the table with at least what I have, if not more, and then we can continue to build together. But overwhelmingly women prefer to actually, what is the reason, and so what would be some of your reasons why you would prefer a man that you can actually build with, or
I don't think building together, it gives both a sense of accomplishment. Um, if I'm coming into a relationship, and he's already established with the home, already established with the vehicles we're driving and all of that, sometimes it makes you feel like you're a visitor, where you didn't contribute, to the building process. Um, maybe. I mean, I'm just speaking, just being the advocate for someone else. I don't know, but maybe that might be part of it. Just wanting to feel like part of the team, and not being able to see your contribution throughout the process. Uh, just like everybody likes to get a little attaboy and kudos, you also want to feel a sense of accomplishment and say, I was here for this. We did this together. Um, and then, because when Mad Day comes, everything is mine, 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 and not yours. Uh, you know, it also makes you feel less.
one of the other posts that they had on there was one of the queens posed a question to the kings, and it says, "Do men still want to get married?" And
That was surprising.
overwhelmingly, I was getting ready to say, most women feel as if men don't want to get married, but overwhelmingly, the response was yes, they do want to get married. Um, and I think Tara, because you kind of posed the question, what was some of the reasons why they had not gotten married, or they felt challenged to get married?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Okay, I agree with that, Deep Penny. One doesn't have to have more leverage than the other. We can be equal in accomplishments. I agree.
Yeah, I
But go
think
ahead, Tara.
effort.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with D Penny. I think a lot of it's your effort um, that makes the difference in it as well. Like you said, somebody can have vehicles and stuff. It's just the effort, and of course, no one wants to feel like this is mine and this is yours. That type. So effort, and I guess bond, communication, transparency. And what were you asking me, Camper?
We were talking about the question that was posted in the Kings group on, do men want to get married? Do men still want to be husbands? And overwhelmingly, I guess for the men who were not married, their responses were yes. And I
Yeah.
thought that was very surprising because I think the misconception is that men don't want to get married anymore.
Uh,
But they all had kind of various reasons as to, well, yeah, I want to get married, but it have to be the right person. Yeah, I want to get married, but these, you know what I'm saying, shared values, that sort of thing. So that's what I was going to say. Did you want to expound upon that?
Okay, and I do see a comment from Adrian, and I think this has something to do with answering your question. It says marriage isn't a necessity anymore. The social construct is different now. So
How
I
so?
do. Uh, so
I asked him how so.
how so, Adrian? I do somewhat agree with him. I think what he's saying is like how why buy the cow, basically. But like you said, a lot of men did say um they do, want to get married. And like you said, I was surprised at it too. There was so many of them said they still want to get married. So I do think marriage is the goal. Of course, in everything, it's always going to be, a percentage of people that disagree or don't want to get married, for various different reasons. You know,
I'm just an old school kind of girl,
yeah,
and marriage is the ultimate in a relationship. Um, it may, I guess for those who don't agree with marriage, um, to those who are married, gives us a false sense of security. Um, but in the long run, I feel like if you put paper on it, you're just less likely to want to mess it up. You're less likely to, be willing to step out on it. And I mean, at the end of the day, just knowing your mate, knowing, sharing all those things at the beginning, so it's not a surprise when you're 2 years in and you looking for the ring, queens, and he's like, we never talked about that. I've never wanted to be married, or vice versa. You know, when he gets down on one knee and he's feeling embarrassed because she's like, what you doing? Tie your shoe and get up, please. So it's all about knowing the person that you're with. But um, it was very shocking to see how many men said that they did want to be married uh, when we posed that question.
We do have a comment from Raquel. She says, I'm old school also. Marriage is the goal. So she,
Wanting to be married, ready for marriage.
Tasha, you speaking? You breaking up? I think, babe. Tasha.
Wanting to, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Wanting to be married and being ready for marriage. I think you can want it all day long, but when it comes down to it, when you're in a relationship and things don't work out, then it's another failed thing. But you have to ready yourself for it and make sure that you're open to things that you might not expect and work through things and just have a set goal with your mate that through it all, we're just going to end up and be together.
Right.
right.
Elon says, my husband made his intentions clear. I also made it clear I wasn't going to be his girlfriend forever. Both our parents have been married for 30 plus years. See, I agree with that. I think that when you have, I think well, let me ask you guys, do you guys agree that coming from two parent homes or coming from having parents that have been married for long years? My parents have been married almost 40 years. Y'all parents have been married, you know what I'm saying?
46.
Either over 40 years or close to the same, right? Do you think that plays a role in how you look towards relationships, marriage, values, that sort of thing? And
Most
so, and it kind of goes right along with what Adrian was saying, is a lot of people do feel like marriage isn't the goal anymore. It's not in the social construct, but I think that you still have a lot of people like ourselves that are still old school. And based on the example that we were given, you get what I'm saying, of marriages and
Okay.
long term marriages, we view things a little bit differently. How do you guys think?
I think it goes back to being honest though. So the new dating has changed. It's dating and it's so rapid and it's so fast. It's not courting to see, oh, but I could spend my life with this person and everything's just fast. Y'all doing everything else, sexing and everything before marriage, so that's lost. And I honestly think it tends to put men in that different category. You may be thinking I'm going over and above for him, and he's thinking, oh no, I done already had that, drove that car, got that car, whatever. I see something like they'll say, I'll never marry you. Then we know men won't just say, I will never marry you, we date, we think it or whatever. They will drag you along and play the game to get the, what they want. And it's both ways. And then that's where you got to be honest and say, okay, this is not growing in the direction that I want, and have that honest conversation. A lot of people won't have that honest conversation because they think it's going to be a negative outcome and they rather just settle for being his 15-year-old girlfriend. And I personally feel I'm 39, 35 plus.
15 years.
I'm not
A
gonna
15-year-old, but 15 years.
no R. Kelly, 15-year-old years. And I think in this grown age bracket, we are grown and ready to do everything. So, you're ready to get married. But if you don't want it, that's fine. Just be honest.
yeah, have those conversations.
But I will say this because I got some homies. Some men are honest. And us women think, oh, he don't mean
I'll
it.
punish him.
They fall in love with the potential of what he could be. No, if he said that,
Well, women overwhelmingly, and I know that, you know what I'm saying. I know I have quite a few friends who are guilty of it. A man is telling you out the door what like most men do make their intentions clear. That has been my experience. They tell you initially. When they tell you when
right.
you first go out, I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm just chilling. I'm trying to have fun. Or I want to go with the flow. Women don't read. There is no reading between the lines. They're
Yeah, what
telling
he
you
said.
what
He's
they
saying right out the gate what he
He
wants.
said what
right.
he said.
And
He's
I
really
think that
good.
women overwhelmingly want to read between the lines and make it what they want, or they think that they can change his mind. And so 3 years into it, well, why you not? He told you on day one, you wasn't his sis, and he ain't want that. And that's not to say that he won't ever want it. He just may not want it with you.
Right.
Or I mean, he may even change his mind later on.
He
But
might
don't
not be
be
there. He
disappointed.
might be at that stage that you are. I mean, I've had that
Right.
situation where you're ready to get married, have kids, and then some, and he's not there. You know, sometimes the stars just don't line up at the same time.
Right.
And wherever he is, you know, you got to decide, hey, is this working for me? Will this continue to work for me? But like you said, sometimes you can't change him, or you know, think it, you know, doing the things that you think will keep him. If a man tells you he's not there, that's not what he wants, believe that. And I'm with Steve Harvey. Never let a man tell you twice.
That's what Mama say.
Yeah, never let a man tell you
Tell
twice
me,
that he don't want
he
you.
That's
just gonna remind
And
you.
I'm
that's what
like,
Mama say. She been
yeah,
married 46 years. I'm gonna listen to her.
yeah. And I'm like this. If you don't want me,
I
I
don't want
don't want you. You know,
No,
you got
but
to
you
be
know
like
what?
that. Hmm.
I heard somebody. You got to get somebody that want to be kept by you. Nothing keeps
Yeah,
a man except a man that want to be kept and want to be kept by you.
right.
There's no
exactly.
tricks. There's
Hmm.
you can stand on your head.
Uh-huh.
You can put the best
Volcano.
feel. You
Mhm.
can do. You cannot have a gas
Volcanoes.
reflex. I'm just saying. You can do all of that. And if he don't want to be kept by you, he's still gonna leave.
Okay. We
You
have a
got to
Yeah.
get
comment.
somebody that want to be kept and want to be kept by you.
Exactly. We have a comment from Big Northside Hines. It says it's refreshing to hear the comments you guys have about marriage, because here lately it seems like marriage is a taboo subject. Yeah. Do y'all
I
agree?
agree.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think that people try to make it a taboo,
Mhm.
which is why I wanted
Shout out
Adrian
Big Northside.
um, to basically elaborate a little bit more because, see, to me, marriage is still the goal. Now, there was a time when I was younger that marriage wasn't on my radar, but I always knew that if I got married, not just getting married, that's not my goal, is not to get married. My goal is just like the examples that said, you know, my grandparents were married over 50 plus years. My parents are still married. We have long marriages in our family, and not toxic marriages. We have healthy marriages. So that's been my example. And so I always knew if I got married, the goal is going to be to stay married. And so going into it, it was never something I wanted to do on just a whim or to say a checkbox, oh, I'm married. You know what I'm saying? And so when I was younger and that wasn't on my radar, it wasn't on my radar. But now, like you said, when you get older and you're thinking about settling down, it's like, okay, but it has to be with the
Yeah.
goal and the intent to not just check a box, but
Yeah.
to actually have something that, you know, you can make work.
Yeah.
Right. And kind of like what Tasha had said earlier, too. If marriage is your particular goal, then you need to already kind of be walking in the line of that. You
Mhm.
don't
Right.
need to
Yeah.
be getting ready, but you need to be, doing the things that a wife would do, carrying yourself the way a wife or a husband would carry themselves. If you still tricking, like Tory Lanez is not doing, then, you can't expect, that something good and great is going to want to come and then stay around. If that's one of those sweep around your old front door type of situations, you need to get your life together and actually be moving in the plan of that. Um, the one thing for me personally, I've always felt, even when I was a young girl, I was a wife. I did
Right.
emulate my mother. My parents have been married a long time, and my grandparents on both sides until death. And so, even in the previous marriage that I had was unto death. And I've always known that I was a wife. Maybe in this point in time in my life without a husband, but you know, being a wife, carrying myself as a wife, um, I'm ready for the husband. So I don't have to make myself ready.
Mhm.
Um, so when he shows up, it'll just be a merging of lives, not um, me wanting to be a wife, but actually being a wife already.
Right. And I agree with you with that, Crystal. Like me, I always say, hey, I'm dating with the purpose, uh,
Mhm.
purpose to one day be a wife. Like my sister was saying, I don't want to be a 15-year long girlfriend. Yeah. So and
So
that's what
coming
goes with
from
ordering your steps. So you ordering your steps as far as commitment or dating or whatever it is. And some people don't want that, and that's okay as well. But like you said, just make your intentions known.
Mm-hmm. Out the gate. Out the gate.
Yep.
That leaves it gives everybody an opportunity to not feel hurt in the end, not feel, like you led me on or betrayed me or wasted my time. If this is something that, if somebody says to you, look, marriage is really not, in my future. I mean, you can hit them with a follow up. Do you believe that maybe that'll happen for you one day, or do you think this is actually it? Like this is, the Oprah Stedman situation of we're never going to be married. Um, because if your ultimate goal is to be married and theirs is, nah, I really don't see it in me, sis or brother,
And that's okay. I
yeah,
think that, but see, to me, I feel like that's the end of the conversation. If we have
Yeah.
identified that we are on two different
Right.
pages and we're on two different life paths, cool. It was nice to
to
have
have
met
met
you.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what you
I
want.
know that's my signature line. It was nice to have met you. Have a good day.
I do have
um,
a comment from Adrian. He did expound on his comment. He says, if a guy, woman is comfortable in his or her single status, then it's going to take amazing to change that. And we spoke upon that earlier. And also have another comment, share before you comment. Big Northside says, how do you ladies feel about the courting process? Does it still exist, or is it still necessary? Yes, sir. It's necessary. According to my father,
now,
GP, you gotta date me and court
well,
me.
here's
You
the
set the
thing.
bar so
This is
high that I want
this
it
is
all.
what I find out. It's necessary and it still exists if you make it a requirement. If
Great
you don't
comment,
necessarily,
fellas.
huh?
Go ahead. I'm
If
sorry.
you make it a requirement, meaning you can't court me or you can't date me if you don't want to court me or you can't be with me, I think that, they say a lot of things a man will only do what you allow.
What you
And I
love.
took, for me, for my experience, that is to be true. If you allow a man to not date you or not court you, he's not going to do those things.
Right.
But if you make it a requirement and a standard, then yeah, absolutely.
Right. And don't bend on those requirements.
Hmm.
A lot
Yep.
of times we'll flex in it.
Don't
And
settle.
we'll say, well, he's doing A, B, C and a little bit of D, but he's there but not quite there. Um,
Don't
you
date
know,
potential. Date the
yeah,
man that he
yeah.
is right there. You have to.
Potential is great for, your teens and tweens. Um, but at a certain point in your life, you should be already knowing what you want. And if I hit you with a question and you don't know the answer, that's fine. You need time to think about it, sir. But definitely don't, make me feel like I'm gonna get back with you in a year. But in the meantime, I want to live like husband and wife. Nah, 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 nah. That's not what's up. You know.
in my experience, I learned that sometimes you have to be more clear. Even if your mate is not being clear as to what they want and communicating what they expect, and you can't just reciprocate the treatment that they're giving you. You have to be more clear, so you're not held to a standard or an accountability for not making things clear. So if you expect a certain thing, expect them to open your door and pull out your chair and take the check. You have to voice that.
Yep.
True. Nobody's
Yeah.
a mind reader.
No one's a
Absolutely
mind
true.
reader. Yep.
They got some out
Okay.
there. We just ain't getting paid for it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So there was a post that one of the queens posted, and I want to touch on it a little bit because it was another comment that a king posted that kind of segued into it. And the comment or the question that a sister queen posted was on sisterhood. And it was, why do women feel as if they don't, either why don't women support each other or help each other? They feel like I got mine, but you can get yours, or you can get yours. But it's not a real sisterhood. Um, and I'll plug it with a comment. Shout out to Dropping Gems on a podcast. Y'all can check them out. It's some good brothers over there. But one of the guys made one of the hosts of that podcast said, that men form friendships or over shared bonds of values and things like that. Women form bonds over superficial things. So they will form, an example he gave is women will be friends because you your man cheating on you, my man cheating on me, we're gonna be friends. And our relationship is rooted in
Oh, that's so sad.
bitterness and toxicity. And so it's very superficial. We, we make over silly things. Oh, girl, I like your hair. Let's be besties. Or, oh, this, and that. And so, do you think does that statement have any validity or truth? Number one, and number two, does that play into why women or some women feel as if other women are not supportive? It's like a competition or underlying thing.
I do have a comment. I think this was on an earlier question from Rhonda said necessarily, but it has been watered down by low expectations. I think she was talking about how we feel about the courting stages.
Yeah.
She also says courting is a requirement for her. So
I would say this into Queen K's questions about ladies and friends. So it took a while for me to really learn and figure out who are your friends. You find that you know people, you're acquainted with them, or it may be one-sided. You are their friend. So a lot of people throw that around kind of loosely because a real friend is gonna be there. She wants the best for you, whether you want to hear it or not. She'll tell you that nigga ain't shit, but she's still gonna be there for you. Someone that's not necessarily on your team, may cheerlead and sugarcoat it for you. But I've learned and found out they're really, really friends. They want you to succeed. Because you push and give them the same thing to strive and do better. So I'm not too sure on the toxic friendships. I did have a few that I got rid of. I left all that. This is the year 2020, perfect vision. So anything that was dead weight or pulling me back or pulling me down, I had to cut it off. And time doesn't matter. It don't matter if it was a 20-year-old person that you thought or perceived as a friend. At this point, you're toxic to me. You're not helping me, or it's negative. Then and by choice, I had to eliminate that friendship. So, I guess it just kind of depends on the people you come in contact with. Then another thing is, I only have a handful of friends, and it might sound weird. I have a few strong men friends that are just platonic and, that have really advised and helped. So I don't know if the sex makes a difference or not, but they have been some of my biggest cheerleaders.
I definitely think sex can complicate things.
No, the male sex,
male or female.
Their gender. Well, I'm just saying all these Freudian slips today, huh?
But I agree too. Yeah, Crystal, you're right on that too as well. Well, she said 15-year-old earlier, so hey.
But that goes off the play that women don't get along either.
I was going to say, well, see, you hit on another landmine on can women and men actually be platonic friends. Mm-hmm. And so I know that that's another hot topic that a lot of people do not agree on. They do not agree. I personally believe this. I have friends that I am platonic with. Sky Flower Child says, I think women get sucked into comparisons a lot. True. I find that a lot of people they pit women against each other. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I see.
Oh, hey, Jazz.
Yeah.
I think that I do think that's true. I think that people, if you look at the rap game, for instance, you have multiple male rappers and everybody has their goat and everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. But you can never have female rappers without somebody, mostly men, trying to pit them against one another and make them compare to one another and who's going to be the best. And you know what I'm saying?
And we fall for it. Brandy and Monica.
And we fall for it. Right. D Penny says sometimes it's hard to support females because you find that they will stab you in the back. It's hard to find genuine people. Mm-hmm. So that comment, I agree and then I don't agree. Environment causes women to be compared. It makes them start comparing themselves to each other. I do agree that comparison. I always say comparison breeds jealousy, and that's never that's jealousy is just toxic. It's room for everybody out here. I think if you just stay in your lane, I think if you just make yourself, you try to be the best person you can be. The other thing for me is, it takes nothing from me
Right.
to help my sister to shine. Hey girl, let me help you, or do you need help, or just you beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Acknowledging another woman's greatness doesn't take anything away from you.
No.
The other thing is there's no competition for me, at least when it comes to men or women, if that's your thing. I don't know, but I'm just saying there's no competition. When it comes to, I don't believe that somebody can take your man, take your significant other, take your partner. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe that there's a reason why you should be competing.
Yeah, he was leaving
Competition
anyway.
in certain arenas is natural and it's healthy, but I think a lot of times when it comes to women, that competition breeds over into other things that's not healthy. Competing in the job market, competing in sports, competition in some areas is very healthy. But I think with a lot of women, sometimes it gets personal, and then we allow ourselves to get pulled into that toxic
Too catty.
realm of
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. We can find ourselves, like you say,
I'm
always
interested
trying
in
to.
knowing why the perception would be that women bond over.
Huh?
What was that, Tasha?
I said I would be interested in knowing why the perception is that why women the perception is that women bond over superficial things. Maybe it's because that's what we show other people when we're out and about. We might say, "Oh, girl, I like your hair," "Oh, girl, we have this in common," but that doesn't mean that we don't have a deeper bond.
True. Um, I think that women, well, see, this is the thing. I think we in the culture, especially now, when we see another woman out, we'll be like, hey, sis, yes, sis. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's great. And I think that, but like Cheryl said, I think that men typically have the same friends throughout life. They may pick up one or two along the way when they hit a different area. If they get married, then their wife may have a brother or something like that they might bring along in. But it's rare that most men have friends that they didn't have from the third grade, which is why a lot of times they get dragged down by those same friends. But that's
They get
neither
caught
here
up
nor
believing
there.
the same because they've all
Correct.
grown up with the same mindset.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true.
But with
And that's
women,
growth. Mhm.
right. With women, we do have seasonal friendships, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, as long as you can put things in proper perspective. There will come a time when somebody will come into your life simply for a season, and you may just be their friend. They may not be a lifelong friend, but I don't think that there's nothing wrong with having a seasonal friendship, as long as things are kept in the proper perspective. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't turn toxic and it doesn't turn bitter. I've had a lot of seasonal friendships where, I was their friend for the moment. We were in that season. I wish them well. If I see them now, we still speak. Hey, how you doing? We catch up and we keep it moving. They're not necessarily in my inner sanctum or in my inner circle, but there's no bitterness or no, you know what I'm saying, malice. It was, our season is over with and we good. And for me, my final point is my lifelong friends, my inner sanctum or inner circle, we definitely have a bond on shared values, because I learned that is the utmost importance. That goes back to, how can two walk together unless they agree? If we don't have the same core values and we don't have the same beliefs, then it's hard for me to allow you, you know what I'm saying, in my inner circle,
Right.
because the level of trust is not going to be there.
We do have another
Sky
comment from
Flower Child
Scott.
says, yeah, go
Oh, go
ahead,
ahead.
Tara.
Says Scott Flower Child says maybe it's the patriarchy factor. Women are already at the disadvantage, so what is that? Scarcity creates insecurity.
Scarcity and insecurity.
Scarcity.
Without having a father.
I think what she's saying is, especially here in America, it's a patriarchal society, so it's male dominated.
Mhm.
So men kind of create or influence things to typically be in their favor. And so that is why I think in a lot of industries you see people pitting women against one another.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, elaborate if we're saying what you meant, Skyflower Child.
Yeah, and it goes back. I think we've always been, like you said, been set to compete with each other, even in the Black community, like with going as far as back as the brown paper bag. You know, we've always been a society to show competition. And that's why, like you said, we need the groups like Kings and Queens to, you know, embrace each other and give each other that the strength and those affirmations we need to, you know that we are great. Because, you know, like me,
Right.
hey, I feel beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. When I read those affirmations in my voice each morning, it just gives me like a boost, a motivation to set my day to, you know, scratch something off of my bucket list.
And that's so true. I think that for me, representation is so important. And
Mm-hmm.
so having channels and having outlets and having a group of women or having a place where you can go where you can feel safe to express yourself, or you can feel safe that you can come in contact with genuine people. I hope that it hurt, you know, that's the whole purpose of Royalty. That's the purpose of everything that we do. We want
Yeah.
to restore the mantle. And so if I can restore your faith in humanity, or that there are genuine people out there, for men who say that there's no good women, or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they come on, they're like, well, you know what, thank y'all, because y'all actually give us, you know, a good example that there are women out there who want to encourage us, who want to, you know what I'm saying, help us. And here's the thing, which is why we said we wanted to do this podcast today. It's over 600 women who overwhelmingly want to breathe life into you guys and who want to help you guys, and vice versa. The kings are super supportive of the queens, and I think that is necessary. It's, you know, it's super important that you have that representation and that have that outlet of that safe place to go to say, okay, I can get my recharge button. Because if you just look at the media and what people tell you and how we're represented, you will believe, you know what I'm saying, that it's just nothing, everything is
Mm-hmm.
toxic or bad.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, those
So
were kind of all of our talking points. Anybody else got anything before we log off? We've been over a little bit over an hour, so I don't want to keep everybody too long on a Sunday.
there was a question that was sent in through text
Okay.
from Tracy. Okay. Tracy
Okay.
said, wants to know from everyone, what have you learned about yourself since we have been quarantined? So whoever wants to
I
start, do a full circle.
uh, I, I I learned, and I kind of said that this morning. I said that to several people over the. I learned that either God prepared me before this quarantine, because I was living very much a quarantine life. As far as I already ordered my groceries, so that's not. I would kind of avoid grocery stores if I could. So I'm an Instacart, Walmart, Target shopper. I online shop a lot. I'm always I'm more of a homebody. I miss physically getting together with my family and my friends. You know, this is, I think, it's the longest we've ever gone without actually getting together. We didn't have our Easter thing with our family. You know what I'm saying? It's coming up on, you know, March. It's hard being fragmented. And I learned that I have more anxiety than I was aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And that I definitely have to keep a handle on that, because typically in my day-to-day life, if you would have said, do you suffer from anxiety? I think everybody suffers from anxiety a little bit. But this, I've had a couple of anxiety attacks. Just having to really, that's why those affirmations are so important, and meditation and stuff like that, and clearing your mind, because you getting so much information overload. And especially in my field of work, I'm always confronted with figures, facts, numbers, dire circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Worst case scenarios. And it manifested, for me, a lot of my symptoms manifested at nighttime, either when I was sleeping or trying to sleep.
When it's quiet.
And right, when it's quiet and when I'm not busy. And so that's just something that I have learned about myself.
Okay. What about you, Taj?
Um,
Where's
I
Crystal?
know that I've always known that I am a regimented person, but I mean, before the COVID quarantine and everything, the first thing I would do when I get to work is make a to-do list. On my off days, when I got up on Saturday, the first thing I do is make a to-do list. Even if I make a to-do list, it's hard for me to be disciplined and stick to it. I do it later. So the procrastination has really kicked in because I know I have tomorrow to get it done. So I guess it just further confirmed that I'm super regimented, and in order for me to be disciplined, I really got to stick to my guns.
Okay. What about you, T?
Um, yeah, it has built up some anxiety. And then also with my job, I work in mental health. So my, my clients, their anxiety is heightened up and it causes your anxiety to raise because you're trying to help them. And, a lot of them don't understand, why do we have to be locked in or this? And then, I have some clients that are, live in shelters and the shelters are closing the doors because, they don't want to let people in that may possibly have it because, they've been out all day in the world. So it is, enhance your anxiety. I think it's also increased my prayer life. I do pray more, more throughout the day, when I wake up and it's also made me thankful and realize that I'm spoiled. I'm so used to going to, getting waxed, getting my nails done, going where I want to go happy hour and stuff. So I'm just like, man, I'm spoiled, like spoiled rotten, like, so it's given me appreciation, even though I've had to paint my own toenails. But white toes still get chose. So it's a bundle of feelings. Overall, I'm thankful that my intermediate family hasn't been affected. My daughter is on the U.S. Theodore Roosevelt ship, and a lot of I think almost 1,000 sailors do have it, the
Yeah.
COVID. So thankfully, she's been tested
And covered.
negative. Yeah, we have a praying grandmother, we have a praying family. So, thankful to that. So, like, and just with knowing that she's on there, it tells me, okay, I can't complain about, not being able to go get my, my hurricane or go get my, sit at a happy hour, when someone else is in a much worse situation. So,
Okay.
it's an eye opener.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what it's taught me is kind of the same things, how really grateful and blessed that we are for the luxuries that we have. Um, a few other things, I do have high anxiety levels. My thing is I have compassion and love for people. So about the second or third day, I'm like, oh, is this really real? Is something going on? And then I don't know about you guys, when it got to 10,000 people dead, I think Italy one time had 600 people dead. You have other people clowning and not really paying attention to it. So it's just a compassion level for people. I mean, I was watching CNN how when they had to say goodbye to their loved one on FaceTime. Death is never good, even if you know it's coming or not. But it's just those things that make you reflect. And it also makes me reflect like, hey, just that rainy day mama always told you to save up for. Thankfully, I'm an essential worker. So I'm still able to work, but there are just some people that aren't. And that's also something I want to share with us Blacks. We got to save for that rainy day because no one knows when this will end. We praying that it should end soon, but no one really knows. And I still don't think that the shake back will be as fast as some people anticipate. It's a process. I think it's a wake up call for everyone to prepare. And then the last thing I did learn about myself is as much as I like to be alone and by myself and enjoy my me time, I do miss my quality time with, someone special or hanging out. It's just that luxury that I can't do it, because we have to be quarantined. We can't go out. That mingling, that meeting someone, fellowship, and not even with just someone special, but family and friends. We go out to eat. So that little stuff you just kind of miss, and you realize you do need. You need to talk to your loved ones. You need to see your loved ones, or someone that's special to you. So that. Another thing, we'll be wrapping up soon, guys, that we want to touch on from the group. We have posted about some of the greatest lies ever told. If everyone could just share, each one share what's the greatest lie that they were ever told. I'll start with mine. The greatest ever lie. The greatest lie that was ever told is that having a piece of man It's better than no one at all. I'm sure Barbara and Shirley all know now during this quarantine because they trying to send that man back to Shirley and send him back and vice versa. What's another lie you heard, Tasha?
I don't know. Come back to me.
What about you, Kay?
Um, greatest lie ever told.
You have one, Sid?
Yeah, I have one. Greatest lie ever told. My phone was dead.
Everybody have
We stay together, but I sleep on the couch. What else?
I was at work.
I was at work. I didn't have my phone on me.
I had to help my homie.
Yeah. What else?
I got you.
Yeah. Just if we can go on and on.
What
We
about
have any,
I ain't lying?
What was that, Tosh?
I say I ain't lying.
oh yeah.
Oh, I swear to God.
Right.
No. I swear on my mama's grave. I swear on mama now.
Now,
Shout out to Jessica. I see you just joined. Yes, beautiful ladies. You got one, K? You don't have to
I
have
don't know
one.
if it's
Oh,
cold, but they'll be like, oh, we not together. We just, we staying together for kids. You know what I'm saying? We go up with each other.
yeah.
Right now.
Elon has one.
Amen.
Elon has one.
Yes.
Those naked pictures weren't mine.
Oh, I have a second one of that ain't lie. She crazy.
Yeah, she crazy.
She's stalking me.
Yeah.
So, but in summation, lies aren't good for anyone, no matter where they come from. And certainly the worst lies are the ones that you tell yourself. Everybody.
Here's another one. Raquel said, I love you. They said, I love you a lot. Here's another one. Jessica says, I have to take my friend to school.
Don't make me feel like girl.
Big Northside says, I told myself that she wasn't that bad, but I told her she was excellent.
You already know Big Northside. You already know Big Northside. They already tell you. New edition tell you. Never trust that big button smile. You know better.
See, I'm just saying to help this person out.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got one. That's not my condom in the trash. My homeboy had came up here yesterday and used the restroom, and he left that condom in the trash.
Whoa.
I read that in a book somewhere.
Oh, okay. We just gonna drink to that, huh, Karen?
Let me put this rose down. Another one, Raquel said, I miss you. Big Northside is laughing at the comment I made.
Speaking of Raquel, another lie came under mind. I'm on my way.
Yes.
I'm on the northeast side.
I'm on my way. I'm leaving now.
You be sitting at your house getting dressed. I'm 5 minutes away. That is the greatest lie that black folks across the board
ever told.
At least they need to be like JT. It sure wasn't me. Okay, we'll let you guys get out of here, but we're all going to. What was that, Kelly?
I was saying I had fun hanging out with you guys. Sharon, your phone is that you crackling?
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right.
Oh, another one. Raquel says, you're the only one.
Hello? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Loud and crackling. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I put it out. Girl, the devil didn't jump in my phone. Anyways, any other lies before we close out on ways to get your black card revoked? Everybody that's typing in, type in a way to get your black card revoked so we can shout it out. A few of us on the post.
Not knowing what not eating banana pudding will get your black card revoked. What will get your Louisiana black card revoked is putting wieners or corn and gumbo.
In the gumbo.
No, I don't drink Kool-Aid, so my black card probably revoked.
I've never seen Black Panther, so my black card might be revoked. I'm getting side eyes.
My black card might be revoked. I don't know how to play spades.
Oh,
my black card will get revoked because
Elon can't play either.
Yeah, Lion can't play spades either.
I don't like soul food.
That's Cam Cracker.
You can mix me with all the black eyed peas and all of that. Yeah.
Oh no, that's real. What's another one? I don't drink Kool-Aid. We didn't grow up drinking Kool-Aid in the house. Yeah, my mama didn't make Kool-Aid, so we don't drink Kool-Aid. I drink it now, but I didn't grow up drinking it.
Another thing that could get your black card revoked. Some of the things that was on the post and I posted was if you were Team Trump, to each his own, but that was one thing to get your black card revoked. One was bringing not a good looking Caucasian lady to the family barbecue. That was one that can get your black card revoked. Shout out to Crystal. She said she don't eat barbecue. Oh, whoa.
Oh, flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Any other ones? Revoke. We all eat chicken?
Yep.
Some eat fried chicken, barbecue chicken, grilled chicken, smothered chicken.
Yeah.
Yesterday's chicken.
Chicken legs, chicken thighs.
Don't forget the leg quarters. Don't forget the leg quarters.
Since I'm in the kitchen area and he needs to get in here to eat, we're gonna have to wrap up.
Jessica says she does not play dominoes. Oh yeah. And she light-skinned it, so yeah, that might get her car revoked.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back with you hopefully sooner than later. Check us out. We're on Royalty Podcast. If you haven't seen the first podcast, y'all need to check it out. Y'all got time now, so check that out. We have our Facebook page. If you're not joined, we have a Queens group, Royalty Affirmations of a Queen, King. Royalty presents Affirmations of a King. Check out our Instagram. They're all under Affirmations of a King, Affirmations of a Queen. We'll post our Twitter handles on there. And we're in Georgia. Big North Side said all your camera pictures are close together. Social distancing. See, you must be drinking too much over there. We all in different places. We so distance, we in different states, cuz.
Yes. I want to be social distance, but my mommy's on here, so I can't say what I want to be social distance.
Come get us.
I need to. I can't say right now.
But anything else, guys? We good to go? All right. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Remember, don't forget, Royalty. We enjoyed y'all. We all we got, but we all we need. Later. Bye, Jazz. Bye, Sylvia.
Bye.
Love y'all. Peace.
Love y'all. Peace. Kings and queens. Royalty. Peace out.